Yo, what's good? It's Mastermind MMA. And in this video, I'm just going to be talking about the divisions in the UFC and just touch on it a little bit, give some of my thoughts on it. So, first, I think it only makes sense to go over pound for pound. And people have their debate on the ranking system. I think I'm not going to give my own ranking system, but if I'm going over it and I see like a switch in positions, then I'll address it then. But pound for pound, John Jones is number one. I agree with that. DJ's number two. I could let that slide. You know what I mean? Like, nothing against it. Luke Rockhold number three. I think it should be switched with Fabricio, who's four. I think Dominic Cruz should be number two and DJ should be number five. RDA number six, I'm fine with that. Robbie Lawler number seven, I'm fine with that. Cock McGagger at number eight, I don't agree with that at all. I don't even think he should be pound for pound. Daniel Cormier at nine for pound. I disagree with that. I don't think DC should be pound for pound. Aldo at 10, Weidman at 11. I might make my Aldo 8 and Weidman at 10 then. But Frankie Edgar is at 12, TJ's at 13. Joanna Jędrzejczyk at 14, Misha's at 15. So, that's not too bad. That's a pretty broad list. It's pretty subjective, but when I kind of touched on this a little in my other video, but when you start talking about the heavyweight division, you have Fabricio Verdum as champ. Kane's ranked number one. We'll see what happens after 198, but Stipe's two. Overeem is number three. Overeem is probably one of the most decorated combat figures in history. His K1, Dream, Strike Force. He's got a lot of belts except for that UFC gold. He's number three, I think. Does he? Does Alistair Overeem have UFC gold? Because I know he beat Brock Lesnar. You know what? There's gonna be a commercial for Google. I better get that Google money. Does Alistair Overeem have a UFC championship? Well, it just took me online, so Google, you kind of fucked up on that plug opportunity. And let's see. I'm just gonna go to his Wikipedia page. But anyway, so he's ranked. While I do that, he's ranked number three. Ben Rothwell's number four. JDS is five. Andre Arlovsky's six. Travis is seven. Mark Hunt is eight. Barnett is nine. Frank Mir is 10. Now, Kane, Stipe, Alistair, and Ben, I can agree with. Ben Rothwell. I know Ben Rothwell for knocking Brendan Schaub's brain into another dimension, making him climb up the invisible ladder. And he's been kind of on a tear. Overeem, I know. He just knocked out JDS. Andre Arlovsky looked like a fucking beast. Alright, so his first fight back in the UFC in a while, he fought Brendan Schaub. Controversial decision win. And then Schaub fought Travis Brown. Travis Brown TKO'd him, retired him. Then Arlovsky fought Travis Brown, knocked Travis Brown out in round one in a fight of the year contender. Mark Hunt just knocked out Frank Mir. Josh Barnett just got submitted by Ben Rothwell. It kind of seems like the heavyweight division is, they're going to have to run a lot of things back. They're going to have to keep doing things over and over again because it's not deep. You don't have a lot of people in it. And you have people dropping out. You have Brendan Schaub, who I don't believe he was even top 10. But he just retires. And he claimed, he says the Reebok deal had a lot to do with that. And, I think he should have went the Mitrione route and just went to Bellator. But I think Schaub realized he's not elite enough and he just kind of doesn't want to do it anymore. So you have, just that quick note. Overeem is a Strikeforce Dream K1 Grand Prix champion, and he doesn't have any UFC gold, but he has wins over the current champion, Frank Mir, who is a champion, Brock Lesnar, who is a champion, JDS, who is a champion, Vitor Belfort, who was a light heavyweight champion and heavyweight tournament champion. So he's never held UFC gold, but he's beaten a lot of people, including the current champion. Light heavyweight. I like that division. You got Jones, DC, AJ, Gus, Glover. And I think, honestly, it kind of stops there. Because Bader just got fucking face down, ass up, knocked dead by AJ. And Glover, it's just more, it's John Jones's division. And until he leaves to go to heavyweight, or if he defends both at 2 times, I think if he leaves and go to heavyweight, the belt changes hands. Like how it's been in the division before John Jones. Middleweight, Luke Rockhold's champion. We'll see if that remains. If Luke Rockhold's champion, I'll give Luke Rockhold the credit. He's fought most of the guys in the division anyway. And if he beats Chris Weidman for the second time, that's Luke Rockhold's belt. And Luke Rockhold is gonna run that division. And I feel like Luke Rockhold, they'll give Luke Rockhold Anderson Silva when they're ready to put Anderson Silva's head on the chopping block. If Luke Rockhold shows to be that good, because Anderson Silva looked really good in the Bisping fight, but the thing is, his age showed by milliseconds. But the thing was, Silva was so sharp that those milliseconds are what counted. So when that timing is off, he was getting clocked. He got dropped real quick. But I think if Rockhold really, if Rockhold has predicted that he's gonna get a second round finish on Chris Weidman. And if Luke Rockhold does that, then hey, I'll join that team. Because that he proved himself in the cage. But I liked Kane as champ. I like Fabricio better. DC is not a champ. Luke Rockhold, if he defends his belt, I would like him as champ. And then you got your welterweight. And in your welterweight division, you have a division of contenders. It was kind of like the lightweight division was almost that killer division. But welterweight stepped its shit up, especially with GSP leaving. You see, GSP leaving really made the welterweight division very interesting. That's what I'm saying about light heavyweight, and if John Jones goes up to heavyweight. So with welterweight, you had Hendricks hold the belt. Then it changed hands to Lawler. Then Lawler kept the belt. Lawler's the one running the running the show. But the thing about Robbie Lawler is it's very close. People aren't really saying like it's wars and Lawler comes out of it, but it's close calls. So it's that thrill of the belt can change hands. It's not, and Lawler earns the respect every time. It's true defenses. And Rory's a killer. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, who really catapulted his way into one of my favorite fighters. Because his striking is on another level. His striking is so crisp. He's like a fucking sniper. Like you know how the snipers, they hold their breath and then shoot on the exhale? He's like one of them motherfuckers you see like his fucking front leg like gyrating, and he just fucking just kicks you in the face. So he's if he takes Rory out, it depends on what fashion he takes Rory out in. But if Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, which I'm rooting and hoping he wins. I like Rory, but I like Stephen better. That Stephen takes Rory out, takes Robbie Lawler, he's gonna get the belt. And if Wonderboy holds that belt, that division is his. Even if GSP comes back, Wonderboy with the belt is gonna run that division. And if he takes GSP, he's just gonna fucking soul blade his legacy. And then Wonderboy will become the legend in the welterweight division. Lawler, if they do Lawler GSP, depending on who comes out of that, regardless, Lawler is gonna have a high level of respect. And it'll be almost like if Lawler loses the belt, it would almost be better to the person, GSP, the king of that division. But anyway, Tyrone Woodley, I think he sat around too much, man. You kind of got like a free shot with Hendricks not making weight. And instead of you really kind of grabbing, and Condit, that's the very heavy rematch contender. I wouldn't be mad if that's at 200, Condit Lawler rematch. But he's just been sitting around. He could have taken a fight with a contender and, really cemented his spot in. Especially if they're making Rory and Wonderboy fight it out. Woodley, I really hope he doesn't get that shot. Just kind of just sitting around. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nothing about his fighting abilities, but for the fact that they're making Rory and Wonderboy fight it out, and you're just kind of sitting there. Especially with Carlos just going through that war, and they're ranking you above Carlos. Dude, you gotta earn that. Hendricks dropped to 5. Damian Maia is top 6. I think Damian Maia should be in the 5th place. He should be that like top 5 guy, because his jiu-jitsu is really good, and he shut down Gunnar Nelson. And I'm not gonna go through anyone else. In lightweight, you got RDA. I thought Pettis was gonna run this division for a long time. RDA's a fucking beast. I love RDA. Eddie Alvarez, I haven't seen anything impressive from Eddie Alvarez. Don't know his Bellator work. Don't know anything really about him. Just saw him in that Pettis fight, and he just really held Pettis against the cage. So that's my view and my perspective of Alvarez. Khabib, he has the win over RDA, so, he's pretty close to the title shot. Pettis and Khabib is undefeated. Pettis, I think you put Pettis against he's going against Barboza, who bro, I think they should just pull Barboza. Right, so Barboza and Ferguson, that was a good fight, but you could argue Barboza got that illegal kick to the face. But anyway, Tony Ferguson has been looking like a motherfucking monster. Just his style and everything in the cage. he's been looking crazy with like his rolling knee bars and shit like that. Like, I would love to see Pettis Ferguson. I think winner of Pettis Ferguson gets a title shot. You know, I think they should do Pettis Ferguson and Khabib Alvarez, because Alvarez isn't going to be able to hold Khabib against the fence. So then, you know, they could even do it as Pettis Ferguson, Khabib Alvarez, and winner of that fights each other for the title. But Conor has to stay all the fuck away from there, because there's a lot of contenders. Especially Nate Diaz, who's a top 5, who is the top 5th guy. I think you lightweight division is good. It's still the killer division. Featherweight, you got Conor. He took out Jose. You got Frankie waiting for him. He took out Chad. Max Holloway fought him when he was young. So Conor essentially took out the top 5 with the exception of Frankie. He does that, then, you know, Conor could do whatever the fuck he wants. I don't care. You got your bantamweight division with Dominic Cruz, another one of my favorite fighters, man. Dom holds the belt. He beats Faber, defends the belt. Dillashaw is ranked 1. I think Dillashaw kind of stays the top guy in that division. Faber is gonna soon announce his retirement after losing. Depending on what fashion will depend on how soon. And I like Faber. You know one of my favorite things about Uriah Faber? He's like, hey, bud. He really told him, like, hey, bud. You know, you show up with back fat. Did you sodomite puberty? Hey, bud. So, like, his character just kind of cracks me up. Aljamain Sterling's ranked number 4. He's an up-and-coming guy. Michael McDonald had like a nice jiu-jitsu display. I don't remember who he was fighting. He was almost getting submitted. Broke out with everything he had and then just submitted that guy. So I think he should be that top 5 guy instead of Renan Barão tying with Aljamain. Almeida's number 7. Brian Caraway. Mr. Misha Tate. And Cody Garbrandt's top 15, but I don't know too much about Cody, but I seen him knock that guy out, and they were talking about his hands, and I was like, yeah, I was impressed. Flyweight, we all know the situation about the flyweight division. They're holding a sweepstakes just to have a contender. And yeah, that's it, man. Ran through the roster fucking basically. Oh, woman, I mean, not saying like to women, but like you that came out wrong. I do not mean that at all. But you know, you got the strawweight division with Joanna, who's probably gonna hold on to the strap and run it, unless we'll see. It's gonna be Claudia or Joanna, and if the belt changes hands, it's gonna be the rivalry. And you have a lot of people, a good Tisha, Carla, Rose, Paige is looking good. And, with the bantamweight, you got Misha. That belt could go if she faces Holly. Belt could go if she faces Ronda. That belt could go if she faces Kat. That belt could go if she faces Amanda, Juliana Pena. That belt is not safe in Misha Tate's hands. No shots at Misha. But, alright, that's basically it, guys. Talking about the division. I was just going to do this video talking about just heavyweight in the heavyweight division. But, it came out. Might as well just talk about the entire roster. If you guys want me to do anything, just any other videos on any topic, just leave in the comments. Let me know. Look forward to hearing what you guys got to say. And, yeah, guys, it's Mastermind Media. I'll talk to you guys soon.